I never realized the extent of how pregnancy could feel like a spiritual initiation and how birth could feel like a conduit to divinity until I was finally in it. Unmedicated birth wasn't about being strong, it was about letting go. Ember came to me in a dream 6 months before she was ever conceived. Her likeness, her expression, and her energy, it was exactly her, except she was glowing with warm light. I woke up the next morning feeling empty, realizing she wasn't real, at least not Earthside in that moment. But I knew then that her spirit was already close, next to me through the veil. She knew me and I could feel her.
Perfect.
Hello and mabuhay everybody, it's me Allegra. Welcome to my very first YouTube video. I am currently celebrating the season of my life, which is 1 year of being postpartum, and I finally feel so ready and excited to share my birth experience and just the last year of becoming a mother. So this video is basically just going to be a talking head about things that I've learned. I have my journal here and I'm going to be just brisking through my notes, talking about the main highlights, and hopefully get to learn a thing or two from it as well. So I chose to have an unmedicated birth for several reasons, and just to preface the definition of unmedicated birth, it doesn't mean that there's no healthcare at all. I actually gave birth in a hospital with the most amazing doctor in Davao. She is a hardcore veteran and she was there at my birth actually. So I was very blessed to have the best team with me giving birth. But unmedicated birth essentially is the process of giving birth without any pain medications, no epidural, no spinal anesthesia, or anything that would numb the pain from the contractions of labor itself. The reason why I chose to do this is because when you go through unmedicated birth, you go through the whole hormonal arc that happens throughout birth itself. So the hormones that are released through labor, birth itself, and finally breastfeeding your child is a different chemical mix in your body all throughout. And if you don't feel the pain of birth, your brain doesn't produce the right or perfect amount of chemicals for you. And I understand that birth is the most unpredictable process you could possibly go through. And a lot of women want to have an unmedicated birth, normal birth, but it's not necessarily a choice, but a blessing that we get to have. Medical emergencies do happen, and I was just so lucky that everything fell through in the right moment for me. I gave birth right on Ember's due date, and she just miraculously knew what to do as well. Ember just was such a team player throughout her birth. So let's go through the 4 main themes that have presented themselves to me throughout pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum. I'm going to talk about 4 things today. The first thing is surrender, 2, showing up, 4, birth as the most expansive human experience, and 4, unconditional love. And I'm just gonna cap it off that today. So for surrender, giving birth to me is the ultimate form of surrender. As I've mentioned earlier, you never know what's going to happen to you on that bed as you're giving birth, and you really just have to let go. Unmedicated birth to me isn't about being strong. It's about letting go and allowing your body to move, allowing your body to feel whatever it had to feel in that moment. And so truly surrendering was the test for me, and I'm sure for many women in that situation. Not just in birth itself, but in the seasons and the fluxes and flows in life. And it takes surrender for death to truly happen. And it takes death for evolution to truly happen. It takes surrender and death for the fruit to become the seed. It takes surrender and death for the seed to become the tree. And in the same sense, it takes surrender and death for the maiden to evolve into the mother. There is a surrender in releasing the person that I was back then, the obligations that I had back then, in order for me to evolve and serve a higher purpose, which is raising Ember and stepping into this archetype of protector and nurturer, teacher, and also just guide for this beautiful human being, which I will talk about later in my theme of unconditional love. But yeah, that's my take on surrender here. In terms of showing up, my second point, back in college, I had a very good friend, Dee. If you're watching this, I just want you to know that I still think about you all the time, and I'm sending you so much loving energy right now. But yeah, my friend Dee, we were about to take a pharmacology exam that we were so sure that we were going to fail. Right before we took the exam, she gave me a piece of wisdom that I still hold on strong to today. She basically said that, and the best thing you can do in this day or every day is to just show up. Show up with your 100%. And some days you may wake up with 20% only, and as long as you show up with that 20% for that day, you end up showing up with your 100% at the end of the day anyway, because you showed up with whatever you had. So it's the same thing with birth. I had to show up, no matter how scared or nervous but excited I was at the same time. I had to show up. It was her due date, and Ember wanted to show up, so I had to show up for her at that point. Show up with whatever percent you have, because at the end of the day, that is your 100%, and it compounds through time. If you show up on your hard days and you keep showing up on the hard days, it'll eventually become easier because your adversity quotient goes up higher. So just keep on showing up. The fourth thing is birth as the most expansive human experience. Sometimes I still look at Amber and I wonder, where the heck did you come from? It's just such a trip for me to think about it. How did my womb reach into the ether for soul, spirit, and incubated in my womb to eventually come earthside? It's just a crazy divine design. It's unfathomable for me. Unfathomable. I just don't understand it. It's the most divine thing a person can do, and only women can do that. Only women can give birth, and that's freaking badass in my mind. So basically, to me, birth is the ultimate passage into womanhood. Don't hate me, but that's my opinion. It really is, because only a woman can give birth. Only a woman can bring life into this earth. I went into unmedicated birth for several reasons, including that hormonal arc, but also for the spiritual aspect of it. I just knew that the pain in birth was something necessary into my rite of passage in womanhood. And it's true. The pain was freaking intense. And in the middle of an 8-centimeter contraction, I just felt bright white pain going through my abdomen like I was being run over a truck. In contractions, it felt like my bones are being crushed and my innards were imploding. But in that moment of pain, what I truly felt was an open hand slap from God saying, this is about to get real and you better get your shit straight. And I had to. I held myself together because it was God telling me that finally in that moment. And in that time of pain, the words that kept flashing into my mind was initiation and rite of passage, conduit. Pain was my conduit towards divinity, and it was something that was necessary for absolute beauty to happen. Again, with the first point, evolution does not happen without death and surrender. So there goes my point of death and surrender. So it really was a conduit. I felt like it was a spiritual initiation into motherhood, and I just feel absolutely inspired. The most beautiful experience I've ever felt in my life. And after finally giving birth, I had never felt more worthy of celebration. I had never felt more primal in my life that I was able to do that. And it was just a crazy, insane, feral feeling. I felt closer to myself. I felt closer to God. I felt closer to Ember. And I didn't think that was possible because when she was still in my belly, I knew I already loved her. But the process that we went through together, me and her in birth, was just, oh, 1 year later, I still can't find the words to express. But yeah, unfathomably beautiful. Anyway, that goes into my fourth point, which is unconditional love, which I'll talk about in a few different ways here. Unconditional love in the sense that I look at her and there's nothing that I feel but absolute purity and joy. Love is all there is for Ember. Love is all there is in this human world, and it's the only absolute truth. Shame, judgment, and condemnation is such a human condition. Only humans create shame. Only humans judge. Only humans condemn. The only truth there is love. The only truth there is light. If you look at the earth, I've been reading Braiding Sweetgrass lately, and Robin Wall Kimmerer, she basically says that the earth loves you. Why would she sprout beans from the ground to provide for you? Why would anything at all exist in this world to provide for you if the earth didn't love you? Why would the earth shine in order for you to survive if the universe didn't love you? It's funny, as I'm saying that, there's a light ray coming into the window. Wow. All there is love. And I feel that when I look at Ember. Yo, why am I crying, dude? Holy cow. But yeah. If you ever feel shame, if you ever feel judged, if you ever feel made small, just remember that it is a human condition. And it's not real, and it's created by the human mind. Love is all there is, and give yourself love. And that's how I'm gonna end today's video, you guys. Thank you so much for making it this far. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. More to come soon. See you later.